Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh my God, sorry. Okay. That was retarded of me. Don't ask me what I was doing, but I thought I wasn't getting the sound. I think I was, but I'm not sure. So, oh my God, I hope I don't have to start this over again. We're already 3 minutes in. So, well, if not, you're coming in to Women, Wit, and Wine. I have Ken Kelly here and Winter Flack. Because, you know, this platform is amazing. And, you know, when it doesn't, like, flash blue and what, it's green and red. Like the little sound thing that it's picking me up. I'm sitting there going, oh my God, is there any sound at the beginning of this thing? Did I just play that music for nothing?
So we have two chances. We're either totally repeating ourselves, or nobody has any idea what we're doing.
Or they're sitting there going, these bitches don't know what they're doing. So, but you work in property management, but you also work in plumbing.
Construction industry.
So the construction industry, those guys usually have humor. Or maybe your guys don't, but mine do.
Surprisingly, I find them to be a little less on the humor side than a lot of just, you know, the office people, I guess. Yeah.
Because that's strange. Because like I'm laughing my ass off all day in my job. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that, but it's so hilarious. I can't help but laugh. It's like, oh my God. So what about you, Miss Winter?
I definitely think I'm pretty sarcastic. And I also agree you definitely have to bring the fun, otherwise your job will make you kill yourself if you don't. I currently manage a healthcare facility, so I deal with insurance companies.
Are you
most
still doing
of the
that?
Day. Yeah.
Oh, so I thought you left for a while, and then did you go back to it?
Oh, no, I work at a pediatric rehab now for almost a year.
So you're rehabilitating kids? Are they on drugs or something?
No, they are usually kids with autism or sensory issues, or kids who get injured, like PTOT speech.
I was hoping for a funny story.
No, that's all a sad story.
It's not funny at all.
No, but housing insurance companies can be quite... You gotta make it fun, and you really gotta go for blood, otherwise, you know, you'll just be miserable. So, I like to make their life miserable. I feel like I'm sharing. And that makes me happy.
You know, sharing is caring.
It is!
Sarcastically sharing is even more caring.
So see, I worked construction, and the construction guys weren't very funny when I worked construction either. Yeah. They did not have the best.
So, like, I'm not really in construction, I guess, because I'm really into heavy equipment repair. I work.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, the company that I work for, we work on dozers and backhoes and things like that.
That sounds like lots of fun. Do you get to test drive them?
Not
do you
yet.
need someone to come test drive them?
Not yet.
I will come test drive.
You want to go there after hours? Let's go. I might be fired in the morning, but
it'd be worth it.
Why not?
Have you ever seen that in Vegas? They have something like that.
Somebody was just talking about that.
But it's like $700 an hour to play with all the equipment stuff, and I'm like, okay, that like sounds awesome, but I'm just like way too cheap for that. I mean, I'll go throw that away at the casino.
Somebody,
that's why it's already gone. I don't have it to go. I don't have it to go play in the dirt with your heavy machinery.
If I was going to do it in Vegas, I'd just drive a fast car around in a circle, really, and just be like,
You know, you can always do the website called "What's Your Price?" You know, and do it as a date. So
I've never heard of that.
So like it's a website called What's Your Price? So basically, they have to offer an incentive for you to go out on a date with somebody. Just do it in Vegas, and it's $700, so we can go to the thing.
I have literally never heard of this.
I've never heard of it.
I never heard of it either. I just recently heard of it, and I thought, this is what you learn so much on TikTok, by the way.
Oh my
so
goodness.
much.
Wow. Okay. I don't know about TikTok, but okay, I believe you.
Yeah. You know, it wastes half my life some days, you know.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what's your price? Or name your price. I don't know, something like that. But it's like, you're gonna offer me $100 to go out with me? I'm not doing it. A friend of mine is doing it. So it's like, I'm like, and I'm like, $45? I can't even go to McDonald's on that. So, you know, it's gonna be better than that. Come on.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that would be, like, really horrible, though.
And then, I mean, you would always have to see, the key is to do it somewhere that you don't live here.
Right.
Somewhere you can easily travel to. Like Vegas.
It would always be Vegas. Wouldn't want to go out.
You could go to Phoenix.
Scottsdale.
Yeah, you can go to Scottsdale.
I just came from Scottsdale yesterday,
but you know what I'm saying? You could totally go there. Just say, yeah. I mean, I'm working. You know, I'm out of town this week, but I'll be in town. They don't have to know that you're like there in a hotel. And they go, "Want to see you again?" It's like, okay, it'll be 2 weeks. Going back out of town. 2 weeks.
So, like, what do you do with that? You say the price is $300, and then you're like, I just like In-N-Out Burger, and then you pocket the rest. Like, I don't.
No. So, like, they have to offer you an incentive to go on the date, and then they go on the date and they pay for the date, but you get your $100 up front at the beginning of the date.
Oh, and then I can pick the overpriced restaurant.
Yeah, then you would go on, and then you would go on the date. You know, I guess it's kind of like a sugar daddy kind of thing. I've been looking for a sugar daddy.
Dude, last time I was in Scottsdale, we were at a restaurant, and all these women walked in, and I was like, okay, these are not all your sons. There is no way these guys are your sons. And, like, 20 minutes in, I was like, see, I told you they weren't your sons. They were way hot. But, yeah, apparently gigolos are quite affordable in Scottsdale, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
I know.
You can go, but you can go there. You can go work in Phoenix and be a bottle girl.
I'd rather have a gigolo come to my house and just dress cute and clean it for me.
Golden Maid Long?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be 40 this year. I think my bottle girl days are way in the past. Yeah,
I didn't say I was going to go to Phoenix and be a bottle girl.
I think I missed that part of my life.
I think the best thing I could do is hold the bottle between my boobs.
That would work.
That would work. It's like, here you go.
Yeah.
That would work. I'm serving it up. Breast side.
Well, that took a whole 3 seconds to shoot the topic to hell and move on to Vegas.
Well, not really. But, you know, so I think, do you feel, so for me, you either, you know, it's like, it's like, okay, so like RuPaul Drag Race, Will and Belly is one of the drag queens, and he says, oh, great. Now I have to be the funny one instead of the pretty one. And I'm like, sitting there going, because in some ways you can't be pretty and funny at the same time. Or at least they think you can't be.
I've always been funny.
You know?
And when I was younger, I was pretty freaking hot.
I mean, you're still pretty freaking hot. But I'm just saying, when you think of a funny girl, you know, we think of, you know, somebody that's not really attractive.
I don't know if
I think some people have this conception that funny women or beautiful women are a little vapid.
They do, but to be funny, you have to be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be really funny, and no offense to any comedians that might be in the room, you have to be broken.
I am broken!
We don't like to think that beautiful boys and beautiful girls are broken, but often they're some of the most broken.
Mm-hmm. Because, you know, and I know that I'm broken. You know, I'll be honest with you, like most of my life I've gotten, because of my personality, and people sit down and talk to me, they go, wow, you're a lot smarter than I thought you were. And I went, what, you think my IQ is like 36 because that's my bra size? Fuck.
They do.
It's 149, bitches.
I'm trying to think. Most of the comedians I know who are girls are pretty hot.
Yeah, you know, but it just you got to think about that. So, but don't you think it's intimidating? Do you think it's harder for a funny girl to have a relationship?
Yes. I think it limits our choice in guys because we're more demanding. We want a funny guy. We want a smart guy. We want a guy that can keep up with us and a guy that can challenge us. And we don't just want a pretty face, too. I mean, okay, sometimes
I think on the list of things that men are intimidated by, probably wit and humor is farther down the list than a lot of other things that guys worry about. They worry about, you know, are you more successful than I am? That could be just in your career, or it could be the money that you make, you know, the house that you own, you know,
I haven't seen your house. I can't be intimidated by it.
Your friend circle.
Yeah.
You know, how you look, what kind of you know, so I think probably humor is further down the list, and actually maybe it's like a little bit more relatable to men. If you are funny, it can lighten the load on some of the other things that maybe that they otherwise would be intimidated about. If you're not so serious about things that, you know.
Well, I think for me, it's a little bit harder for me, not because, you know, I'm just fucking hilarious, but it's more like my humor is my armor, you know. It totally is my armor, and I use it to protect myself. I use it to be freaking, and I'm funny, and so like what you don't realize is I'm throwing this out there because I don't want you to get too close to me and hurt me. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna just throw a bunch of dumbass jokes at you.
Right, but a lot of that though makes you more relatable, right? I mean, on the offset, it's relatable, and then maybe if, you know, depending where your humor goes, maybe it becomes more or less relatable.
I have a little. I admit my humor is a little morbid, and I'm okay with that.
I think it depends a lot on the guy, though, because if they're smart enough to keep up with you, then it's going to make them relatable. But if they're not smart enough to keep up with you, or they're not really realizing that you're being funny, because I've had conversations with people who just get that sort of deer in headlight stare, and I'm like, you know it's a joke, right? And they're like, uh-huh. I'm like, you're not my kind of people, so you just
you can't hang out with me.
I'm definitely a person that, like, I don't need you to like me necessarily, but I need some kind of feedback of, just like the blank stare, and then I'm like, is that because you don't understand what I'm saying, or because I'm an idiot? Like, I mean, it's, you know,
one half a dozen of the other.
I need one way or another here that, you know, I don't know, whatever.
I need something.
But how do you think it relates to other women?
As I've gotten older, it helps me relate to other women, because I think one of the things that we do learn with age is we get more comfortable with our funny parts. We get more comfortable with our humor. And we get more comfortable with our trauma and can make jokes about it, and it makes it actually easier for women to bond. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, humor made it almost impossible for me to have any female friends. Because they were like, why would you say that? Because this whole side room is laughing. What's wrong with you? You know, like...
And I think for me with female friends is actually, you know, being funny and somebody that maybe you would want to hang out with and, you know, chuckle about or whatever stuff makes me more relatable to other women than what probably their first perception of me otherwise would be.
So what was your first perception of me?
Let's see.
And that's okay. You can be honest.
No, I'm trying to think.
Nobody fucking hurts my feelings anymore.
Exactly the first time I met you. No, I thought immediately that you were funny, and I think within the first 10 minutes of knowing you, somebody said, like, she's a comedian, and I'm like, well, that totally makes sense that, you know, that you're a comedian. Uh-huh. You know, but I like funny people, and that's actually one of the qualities that I look for in men is somebody that's funny. You know,
and that's tough. I spent 10 years with Terry, and it was difficult because he was a really, I mean, you would only catch a glimpse of funny.
I literally could not be with somebody that didn't, like, make me laugh or didn't have fun or, you know, something with
word of advice, I live with a stand-up comedian. Make sure they have some other place to go to be funny sometimes.
Because they try their shit out on you all the time. So constantly. What do you think of this?
Is this funny?
No.
I'm stealing that. Like, But yeah.
Yeah, that's totally me. It's like, you'll say something, I'm like, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah.
I'm using that.
Would you guys watch The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
I've been told that I have a personality like her, even though I think I'm much more like her manager.
Her manager is the one that I just think is like, I just can't keep up with that woman. She's always with the, something. But yeah, it's kind of, you know, I think funny women, yes, especially if you're talking about being a professional funny woman, which I'm not at all, is that, you know, it is something that's probably hard to break into. It's the boys' club. It is a boys' club. Nobody was I mean, if you think about maybe Lucille Ball, is that she had to be on a show with her husband, right? She couldn't just have her own show at that point in time. Yeah. That was like a no-go. And did her husband really, bring anything to the show other than being,
a Cuban with an accent?
No, he didn't. It was the women that were funny on the show.
Yeah,
that was the whole
women.
show. Yeah, but could you just have a show with 2 funny women back then? No.
Not really. I mean, you had Carol Burnett and and Vicki Lawrence, and of course you had Phyllis Diller and Carol Channing. You did have some funny women, but it's definitely a boys' club. It's still in a lot of ways it's still a boys' club. And you really kind of have to fight for your spot, your place when you're out there. I mean, for me, it's more frustrating to see the same people booked every week on a show. I mean, you really have enough comedians in the state of New Mexico to really cycle through and not have the same person for 3 months.
Well, if you talk about now, look at famous comedians who have made it. Sarah Silverman, right? She's kind of being brought back to her start of, it's funny to tear down other women, right?
Yeah.
And she's saying now, well, it's really not so funny. And I kind of felt bad about it at the time. But do you think there's men that are, being brought back to 10 years ago because they, told some joke about a man that was, maybe not funny, roasted him, whatever it is. It's like, oh, well, you want women to, it's funny, and you can get to the top of your game by roasting other women or, finding the funny thing in a situation, but now also you have to be so many years later accountable for what you said that was funny at the time.
You gotta be, I mean, I really think that what is it, we are kind of a little bit in the cancel culture, and granted, there are things that could be changed to make it much more diversified without saying this can't exist.
That's true. There's definitely some things that deserve to be canceled, and I'm
perfectly
happy to see them go.
But
I'm not going to jump on somebody for what they said in 1985. Like, whoa!
And that's the unfortunate part. That's where we're at. So
You're like, okay, we need a cutoff. We need an actual date and time.
Right?
Like, before this, whatever you said was like, we'll give you a pass on it, like,
don't do it again.
This date, after this date, though, then you're, but what is that? Where do you go?
I don't know.
And that's the whole thing is like, okay, they're canceled. They stripped, Laura Ingalls Wilder. Have you heard this? They've stripped an award for her.
Yes.
From her, because basically, the books are racially charged, and
the time the books are set in are racially charged,
and that was like this English anchorman was bringing. He says, like, for fuck's sake, he says, this is during the Jim Crow era. Slavery just was abolished. And you're going to cancel this now? You can't cancel culture, but you can make people aware that this time, this is where we were, and this is where we are now. We've moved past that. We don't have to be that anymore.
Well, they did that with Gone with the Wind. They pulled it from streaming.
Oh, they did.
And then they had some doctor person give a whole intro about this is what life was like and blah, 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 and set up the whole thing. And I was like, okay, fine. You need that.
But you don't have to
track over it. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Right, but you don't have to go, okay, put your disclaimer at the beginning.
Yeah.
For your information, this may contain da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then it's my choice whether I want to watch it.
Well, not only that, but it opens up conversations. You can sit your kids down, say, watch this, let's talk about it.
Let's understand it, yeah. Because I know that they've taken, and off topic, but again, this is all in some ways you have to take some of this with a grain of humor, a grain of wit and understanding, and know that that's not who we are today. I mean, yes, there are still people out there that exist within that ideal mindset, and those are ugly people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that there's any one superior heritage, race, or anything like that. Everybody has bad people. You have good Christians, bad Christians. You have good Muslims, bad Muslims. You have good white people, bad white people. You have good Spanish people, bad Spanish people. It doesn't fucking matter. It's who are you? Are you a good person or a bad person? Because you know what? I'm going to hell in a handbasket. I'm going to enjoy my trip all the way.
But I'm also not a bad person.
But I'm also not a bad person. I just I want to know I like myself when I look in the mirror.
Well, yeah, I want to know that I like myself when I look in the mirror, and when I see, oh, here's heaven, here's hell, I'm like, well, hell looks like a lot more fun.
Yeah, they have cookies there.
What's the line I have to be on?
I'm not really up for the cold weather. The altitude makes me a little nauseous.
I don't like altitude.
I'm looking for a little warmth, cookies, wine,
beach,
gratuitous sex.
The beach, yeah.
Hey, you know what? When I think about hell, I just think about, all the things that just annoy my daily life. If that just happened on replay over and over and over again every single day for the rest of my life, how, that's what I think hell would be like.
So basically, hell is Groundhog Day.
Yeah, but just the worst thing that annoys your everyday life.
Like the toilet paper on your shoe when you came out of the bathroom.
Yeah, yes,
And you keep repeating yourself. Every time you walk out of the bathroom, the toilet paper gets longer.
Yeah. And if you could deal with that every day for the rest of your life, Or the rest of eternity, not even the rest of your life.
That just sounds like a challenge of what to do with the toilet paper that gets longer and longer.
We should give that a try. We should do a test of that. We should do a short of that. We'll call it the paper theory.
Next thing you know, you turn around, your cat's all mummified in toilet paper.
Okay, so that's one of my things is, if I just met you and we're talking to each other, I'd be like, got a little thing in you, something in your tooth, right? I literally, and you're just I don't even know you, why are you telling me this? And I'm just well, because I would want to know. So yes, if I have, my zipper is down, I have something on my face, something in my tooth, whatever, I'm just and I feel I give it the good 10 seconds of yeah, I'm listening to what you're saying, and then I'm you gotta take
I'll be hombre, you got a bogey in the hanger.
No, that was enough.
Here, hombre, do this.
But all my friends know that if I literally have been talking to you, and then I go look at myself, and something is going on, I'm going to be mad at you. Here's the thing. Look, we have just literally been talking to each other. You've been looking me in the face for how long? You have been looking in my face.
Bitch, you are not my friend.
Yeah. I'm just and this was going on? People would be I swear I didn't see it. I'm false. False that you did not see it.
Trust me.
You're a liar.
So here's the thing you need to know about me, Kat. I will tell you got shit in your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go, Kat.
I appreciate that immensely.
You're making me glad I brushed my teeth before I came over here.
Because I would want somebody to do the same with me,
Oh, yeah. I check myself, before you have, go in a meeting or get on Zoom. Zoom right now, right? Everything's on Zoom. You got to be, you can't just be in your office,
and on Zoom, you cannot be
working, doing whatever.
Pantless down because some people can see that shit. So you know. No, I've never done that. I've known people.
Apparently, when you don't stand up. I laughed way, way, way too hard at that viral video of the lawyer who's I'm not a cat. I'm
you're a cat.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I can't get the filter to turn off.
No, just everything else is semi-amusing till when, he just had to state for the record that he's not a cat. I couldn't.
For the record, Your Honor, I'm not a cat.
I died laughing. Yes, I could.
Have you seen that one? The video.
I have.
And then, of course, now everybody's oh, no, everybody's doing it. It's okay,
Oh, I went to my Christmas party dressed to the nines from the waist up.
Uh-huh.
And I was stand up. I want to see the rest of your outfit. I was no, you're seeing the best of it. No, I want to see the rest of the outfit. Okay. She's are you serious? Are you wearing sweats? Yeah, this is a Zoom party. I'm not going to put on real pants.
You don't want me to stand up, trust me. Why?
At least I have pants on.
Because I have assless chaps on. No, I really don't do that.
No, that was actually a thing.
Not at 9 in the morning.
I think it was actually a statistic that I saw on Walmart, because, they're the company that, tracks everything. So during this whole pandemic, pants sales have been way, way, way down. Top sales are still doing okay, but it's the whole thing of, why do I need to spend money on a work outfit if everybody's just going to see me from the waist up? I'm just going to buy a shirt, and who cares what I'm wearing on the bottom?
And what you don't realize is you're sitting like this, and the camera can see you from down here.
That's why you just
and those ducky boxer shorts are not the same as a fucking pair of pants.
Just gotta get your angles right for everything,
Well, they said that about makeup sales, too. Like, lipstick and blush have plummeted, but eyeliner and mascara is still selling like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
So, I only have to look good from here on. And don't have to brush my teeth because I got a mask on.
Well,
but I
will.
I will fucking smell it in the mask.
You have to smell your own breath. So that might make people brush their teeth even
why am I smelling spaghetti in here? Oh shit! I made garlic toast last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that part's not good at all.
So if you think about this, okay, we're back on topic because we're fucking talking about.
You're gonna have to edit out like so much of this.
Oh, I never edit out anything.
Rando. Okay.
Because that's the whole thing. It's like we don't have to stay exactly on topic, and I don't care that it goes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, but we're talking on it and we're touching on it, but that's kind of what makes you relatable at the same time is that you're talking about how you cope with stuff, how we deal with things. Like for work, I found my fucking dream job in regards to my personality. I don't have to filter me. I don't have to worry about hurting somebody's feeling. I do work with a bunch of men, mind you, but I don't have to worry about filtering anybody's feelings. And I'm okay with that. I've made a customer fucking blush. Because he started it. He says, hey, AB conversation. And I said, oh, you mean you found my nose? He says, your nose? I said, yeah, it's in your business. And he goes, yeah. And he goes like this. And then he goes, and then he turned blood red. He grabs his ass and turns blood red. And I'm like, man, that's a nice color on it. And you did that, not me.
So I've had to take for various work things like personality tests, multiple times over. So one of them, I don't know what the exact, but it's basically a color test. Everybody's a color.
I'm a gold.
Dominant personality is, whatever you score highest on, and then it kind of filters into whatever it is. So I recently took one, and my dominant color is yellow.
Yeah,
yellow
is the gold.
Is fun. Okay, so although I am a pretty, I have a lot of serious things about me and my job and whatever stuff. If you have to be a boss bitch, you're being a boss bitch, and it's really not funny or whatever it is. However, if your kind of pursuit in life or something that makes you happy is to have fun and have humor and, have those things, and the rest of my personality traits, I think were fairly closely clustered together right after that, like within a couple percentage points after that.
Yeah.
Is that, okay, I'm pretty balanced, but what actually makes me happy is having fun or having other people having fun or having a good time.
Right.
Or, not to the exclusion of all else that needs to be done in life, or, paying your bills and, raising your kids and whatever stuff. Like, we just don't do that because we're just a fun family.
We're not going to school today because we're a fun family.
Yeah, but, so you have to obviously have some kind of balance. But, yeah, there is something that makes, that actually makes us happy. And so, for me, or something that I would seek out would be a funny person or somebody I can have a good time with or whatever over somebody that's, trying to take over the world or,
all right,
figure out, or figure out,
all right,
everyone else's, emotions or, whatever might else be going on.
It's funny because I get a lot of, some of my friends who are a little bit much more toned down than I am is like, read the room, Nick, read the room. It's like, fuck, I don't want to. Can I lick him on the side of the face?
If you have to ask, the answer's probably no.
So I don't really ask. That's the thing.
Just put that like as a crib note on your hand. So when you ask the question, you have to ask. The answer's probably no, and then you can just put it away. That's why I don't ask. No. I tell people, you know how you know when you're really my friend? They say, how? I've licked the side of your face at one time or another. Well, okay then.
That's how you know that you've made it to the inner circle.
And I kind of have like a weird personal bubble about something. I don't know if we would, how that would turn out for you.
Here's the thing, you'll never expect it. I'm just saying, never, ever. I did one of those tests. A disc test. It's a personality test. And it was for like success and stuff like that. And the guy calls me back and he goes, you're unusual. And I went, why? He said, because you're the same. I went, what do you mean? He says, you're the same across the board, which means you don't fluctuate between here and here. You are 100% you in your work life, in your private life, in everything. You don't change. Your personality is across the board. And I said, oh shit.
Nice.
And I'm like, because I am. I was telling my daughter that. It's like, sometimes you got to ask yourself that, when there's always somebody that you can't get along with at work, in every job that you go to, that eventually you have to look at yourself and think, maybe it's you.
Well, if I've had literally one person in my entire adult professional life that I just could not get along with, and not just like we just semi-disliked each other. It was like a constant daily battle that brought in the other people in the office. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to me because I'm not a confrontational person. If it was up to me, I would just probably have minimal conversation or anything to have to do with her other than what we had to do together at work, right? But it was like, if you deal with somebody that's a confrontational person, that can't be the scene that you just kind of only deal with each other when you have to for work stuff. It's like there always has to be a battle every single day, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting to me.
That's not this job.
No.
Okay.
Well, it's not somebody who works at my job currently. We'll say that. So.
Do I need to take her shark fishing? Or to the pig farm?
No, but it was, it was very taxing on me for a long time because it's like, I can't have fun with this person. I can't, every day is just so serious and not even serious, just kind of down. I'm just like, can we just, you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. I always leave you alone. So if you don't start at me,
just
we'll
fucking
be fine.
shoot me an email. Don't even fucking darken my doorstep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't come down my hallway.
But it was
I won't come down your hallway.
It was very hard for me because I really feel like I can get along with pretty much anybody. Even, we were just laughing about my ex-husband who I just, hung out with all last weekend with my daughters and everything. I feel like, yeah, pretty amenable to everything, and not to say I'm a pushover or anything, but you can figure out a way to kind of make the peace and get along, whatever. So if you encounter that person, and I think it might be also something with, if you have a boisterous personality and you're funny and outgoing, and you just run into that person that's just a brick wall of seriousness or whatever, you're probably you're going to keep trying, and they're going to just be like, I'm building my bricks higher. Like, you're not coming over my wall.
Bitch, you are not coming here.
Like, you are not coming over my wall.
This is not out of my bubble.
Yeah. You can just stop with, and, like, you might get to the point where you're just like, wow, I'm uncomfortable. Like, I don't know. I don't know where to go from here, of how to deal with this person. Because I've
had that.
If your normal way of dealing with things, right, is humor, or you can kind of break the ice or break somebody down or, get on a common ground. Usually, right, humor is a lot of times a common ground, unless it's, overtly racist, sexist, like, just super out there. A lot of times, people think things are funny. That's why we have comedy shows, and we have, movies that are comedies, and, that's been a everlasting thing, right? That kind of brings people together, but it's like, if you just run into that, your, like, your antagonistic alter personality that's just, like, you just can't, there's no getting over it, getting on with it, whatever it is,
So for me, I didn't really have any female friends till I was about 37. Most of my friends were men. Because that's just what I got along with. I make jokes that I'm a little bit of a misogynist, because in some ways I am. I admit it! But so, my female friendships really didn't start, like, coming into play until I was, like, 37. But even still, I have some problems with some women, because they have this perception of how they should be. And instead of going, oh, you just need to chill out and just fucking take a chill pill and loosen up those fucking panties and get them out of the wad that they're in. And, if they weren't up the crack of your ass, you'd probably have a better time.
Right. Well, I mean,
that's true.
I still to this day have problems with women relationships a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of that is, like, perception issues of just, how people think I'm going to be or whatever it is. Fair or not, or even after they know me, which is really actually hurtful, is, I'm not a man stealer. I'm not out to, go behind your back or do anything like that. But it's like, women do a lot of times get just like in a cycle of being distrustful of other women, whether it's warranted or not, whether somebody's your really good friend or not, whatever. So for me, I just kind of know that, and I've known it my whole life, and so I just shy away usually from having women relationships, because it's not worth it to me to, like, have the drama and whatever it is. So I'm just like, you know what, I'll be, I'm totally into sports. I'm into, let's go hang out and watch NFL football all day with the guys and whatever stuff, and it's like, I'm totally good with that. Like, I like that. Yeah. I like that stuff,
Right.
I like the less drama.
Yes.
I kind of think that in some ways that witty women are much more tolerant of a lot of different situations, but when it comes to the drama, it's like, fuck this, I don't need this shit.
Yeah, I don't need the plug very early on with drama stuff.
And like I said, I'm one of those people that
I don't have time with it. I don't have time for it in my life.
I say what I say. I mean what I say. What I say to your face is what I'm going to say to your face. I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes I'm venting to you first before I go say it. And you know what I'm talking about. Before I go say it to somebody, because of the fact that, I've now gotten a little bit of my aggression and my anger out, and and now I can just go out there and and say what I fucking need to say, and still be a dick, but not necessarily
much of a dick.
Not necessarily as much of a dick, because
no, that makes sense.
I mean, I read people. Like, my first impression of Kat was like, ooh, she's a volcano. She's simmering. She's just waiting.
No, I am, because I'm very, like, even-keeled, and that's part of, like,
and when
my
you
job,
see
my
it, it's everywhere. And it's not messy, like, oh my god, I can't fucking believe you're just batshit crazy kind of thing. Because for me, I just tell people I own my crazy, and I'm okay with that.
No, I do. I have, like, I have eruptions about,
so when you see it,
far to, point, and then I'm like, okay, I've had it, like, that was my point, we've reached it, and, there might not be any warning for it before that, Because I probably didn't even feel that way up until something set
So
me
you're
off
saying I
or
read you
whatever.
right?
I would say so because I'm very tolerant of people.
She's like,
I'm very tolerant.
And then all of a
I'm
sudden,
very even keeled. And
and
then
you're
if
like,
there's something that sets me off, whatever it might be. There's probably warning signs before that people maybe don't key into or whatever. That I'm like, hey, let's whatever, and it's like, all right, now.
Yeah, now I'm done.
Yeah.
I use my humor.
Now we're gonna get it
to a point, and then all of a sudden, I call it emotional vomiting. It's like, I emotionally vomit on people. It's like,
that doesn't sound good.
Yeah, because they'll like at the right time they'll say something to me, and I'll go, what? What? Oh, you want to talk about that? Well, let's see. This is what this is, and okay, I'm done. I'm done emotionally vomiting. I'm going to step off my step stool. How about you, Winter?
I'm more like Kat. I'm pretty even keeled until I'm not, and then when I'm not, I'm really not.
I'm just a bundle of sarcastic humor until I emotionally vomit. So I guess I'm similar, but I also am to the point. If you've pissed me off, I'll take a step back. I'll recompose my words, and then I will say flat out to you what I need to say, and then I'm over being mad. I'm done.
Oh no, and that's definitely like when I'm over being, I'm just like I said whatever it was, I don't like to hold grudges against people. I feel like I'm very forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Let's all move on with our lives. We're not mortal enemies now or anything that, people have disagreements all the time, and it's not the be all end all of the world.
Right.
And it's, like I said, we're all human. All of us make mistakes from time to time, and the people closest
Fuck
to
you,
us
I don't
are
make
the
any
ones...
fucking mistakes. I'm fucking perfect. Remember? I'm the same across the board. Okay, I'm a dick. Yeah, you need to go. So, is that what you were whispering to me? It's like, I'm like, what the fuck is she saying to me? She calling me a bitch and under her breath? It's okay. It's okay. So, but I don't, and again, it's just, I think that with us as funny women, witty women, I think it makes life easier, but in some ways, I think it makes it harder.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's true of lots of things.
But again, it's like...
Being a woman makes my life easier in some ways and a hell of a lot harder in other ways.
I know, because, I can't wear the cute shirts because my boobs are too big.
Poor baby!
And my shirts are always stained, and there's always a grease spot, and it's always on my left one.
Why?
Because I'm left-handed.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And somehow the food just has to jump, like it's a fucking swimming pool. It's like, oh, good cleavage. Oh. I'm like, fuck.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
I made one with myself. One of those, they took the little roach clips, the little electronic clips, and put a shoestring on it, so I could always carry a fucking a fucking bib, just because I think anybody that's ever dated me, their memory of me is how much food has fallen on my breasts. Because doesn't matter what I'm doing, something's gonna end up there.
That's a problem. It's a problem boys don't have.
The problem, I know, they don't have that. It ends up in their crotch. So I can save it for later. I don't know. Well, look, where'd this fucking come from? Right? Where'd this fucking come from? Oh, look.
God, that's
I think that's still edible. It's a raisin. Oh, never mind. It's lint. I'm sorry, I'm dying here. I'm laughing at my own shit. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
So did you find your humor helped you or hurt you during lockdown?
So for me, okay, so because of the job that I do, I was a bookkeeper, and I did payroll, I really wasn't in lockdown. And then I was doing some bartending up until they really basically said, you can't really be open at all. So that helped me keep sane. And of course, I had a small circle of friends. I'd have a game night here or there. You should come to a game night one night. You like game night? I have some great games.
Excellent.
You and Brian could come. It'll be fun. But, so I had a small circle of friends. And so, I should have probably have done more writing during this time. I have, but probably not to the extent that I should have been. But then, how much could you possibly see in humor in COVID? I mean, I think there's some humorous parts to it, but at the same time, I do think it's tragic. It's like my friend Tony, he says, well, how are you coping? I just don't understand. And I said, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm taking this seriously. When I leave my house, I have a mask on, and I'm going to the store. It's not like I'm walking up and licking the clerk at the store.
Well, that's good.
Or like sticking my face on the plexiglass and blowing it up like the fish.
The clerks appreciate that.
They probably do. I mean, so for the fact that I'm going to get COVID, I think that it's possible for anybody to get sick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would, if I did not have any type of small social circle, which, Kat's been to my game nights, they're kind of crazy.
No comment.
She's very competitive, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Just in case you didn't know, she's very competitive.
I would have guessed that.
And she is a fucking trivia whiz.
Oh, nice.
So if we played that game Goth that both of us have.
You know what? We just had a game night last Saturday, and for the first time ever, we played that damn game.
You didn't invite me!
Oh, the truth comes out. Okay, I'm not here. I'm not here for this conversation.
Kat's my witness.
Don't know nothing about it.
That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. But it's actually in my shed collecting a lot of dust right now. But I have some other great games to play. But again, Kat is a fucking trivia whiz.
I don't like
she's almost like the fucking Britannica encyclopedia. I'm like, she's not gonna know this. She's fucking not gonna. Oh my god, she fucking knows this. So
I'm like there's like levels, right? It's like a trivia crack master, and but if you went on Jeopardy, you would fail so shamefully.
I don't think you would.
Yeah,
I don't think you would.
Yeah, go down in history for, I don't know, worst Jeopardy player ever.
And that bitch forgot Don King.
Well, it's also because Jeopardy asks questions that people know because they matter, and the trivia I know is stuff I know because it doesn't matter at all, but it's hilarious to know it.
So for me, I'm going to be honest, my guilty pleasure for a long time was I used to get a magazine called Rue Morgue. It's a horror magazine, but it had this one section. It was my favorite fucking section because it was all trivial facts of morbid shit.
Nice.
And I'm like, ooh, I could just tell somebody that randomly.
Yeah, I don't know, where there's enough room in your brain for just weird shit to, stick in there, but
I tell people I'm a plethora of useless knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
So am I. Good job.
Me too.
Here's to useless knowledges, and you just throw it out there at random times, and people are like,
okay, I kind of came in in the middle or the beginning-ish middle of the conversation about, COVID and whatever stuff.
Well, she was talking...
In my head, to begin with, COVID was literally cooties. I mean, literally, that's how I thought of it in my mind, was just
Did you see that movie?
Okay, there's cooties. So if I just go out somewhere, I have to wash my hands and spray sanitizer and like wiped out, you know what I mean? Like I won't get cooties if I just do this, you
Cootie
know?
protocol.
Yeah.
Right? Now
and then you're just like, okay, now I don't want to touch the door handle because obviously somebody left cooties on it before I got here. So then you're like, you know, you put your sleeve over and then you're like, oh, now my sleeve has got cooties on it. Like, what do I do with this? So that lasted like about a total of 3 weeks for me.
So obviously she's one of the paranoid COVID people.
No, so like for 3 weeks it literally lasted, and then I'm like, all right, I just can't keep up this cootie protocol. Like
for me,
I don't, you know, I'm just like have never been that much of a, you know, germaphobe and whatever stuff. So like this 3 weeks of unnatural germophobing for me is just not working anymore. Like
exactly. So it's like just give it to me already. God damn it. So I mean, so think about this. You know, we're all in a generation where pre-cell phone, still playing outside after dark as long as you know it was time to come home when it was starting to get dark, kind of thing. We went to the park, we played with our friends and stuff like that. We're all in that, right in that area.
Yes, I am. I'm agreeing. Yes, I am.
So, I mean, for me, it was just like, my attitude about COVID was like, here's the thing. I was one of those kids that went, throw me the ball! Wait! I think I'm going to be okay. I ain't enough dirt to fucking sanitize me.
Right, yeah, and I didn't honestly really think about the getting sick part of it. I just was like, it's cooties, so I'm just, like, not gonna catch it if I somehow do these, you know, whatever stuff. And so then, like I said, that lasted about 3 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm over it now. I gotta just kind of live my life. So I do, you know, we're here in New Mexico. We have, like, the strictest laws, anti-COVID laws, I guess, whatever you want to call it, anti-business laws, normal society laws here. You know, it's just at a certain point, like, this just can't continue. People are, you know, getting depressed and lonely, and there's other side effects besides people catching COVID that, you know,
exactly.
It's like, well, maybe there needs to be a certain segment of the society that does really have to worry about it a lot more than the rest of us maybe do.
So there's a poem that was written, and I just think that it's really fitting for this whole COVID thing, and I know it was written partially for COVID, and it's basically how it's like we basically it's interesting. We fell asleep in one world, we woke up in another. Have you heard that one? It goes, let me see where it is. We slept in one world and woke up to another. Suddenly Disney has no more magic, and Paris is no longer romantic. And in New York everyone sleeps, and the Chinese wall is no longer a fortress. Suddenly handshakes is now shaking hands. But basically they rewrote it. It's like suddenly, you know, hugs and kisses become weapons, and not seeing your family has become, has become an act of kindness. And then it's like, you know, and then it says, and then we realize that, here it is, it says, and then we realize that money can't get you what the oxygen you need to breathe. But the reminder of this is that the earth is still there, and the trees and the water and everything, they don't need us to survive. So when you come back, remember, you are my guest, not my master. And it's basically, for me, it was really the whole, and the empowering part of that is it's true. We as a society have basically urbanized everything. Think about when you were a kid, how much land was where you were. How many trees were where you were. And now we've urbanized so much that
and I think
we kill nature.
The funny thing is that everybody really does need human relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so pre-COVID, what does human relationships looks like? It looks like maybe we're gonna FaceTime, send each other funny stuff on FaceTime, and like text each other and call each other, and we might hang out every couple months or something, right? Whatever it is. Okay, now you take that away from somebody and you say, you literally can't hang out with them anymore, and your only form of communication now that you're allowed is to FaceTime them and text them and do a Zoom call and whatever stuff. It's like, and there's something in your psyche that's like, oh, well, it's not an option for me anymore. Like,
you mean I can't? What do you mean I can't?
Like, I need the option that,
my friends are still coming over, goddammit.
Yeah, even though if I only did it every 2 months before that I, reached out for the actual human connection, there's something like that, you just kind of miss if you're told, like, no, you can't do that anymore, even if you weren't doing it before. And some people are just, more social than others,
so, like,
and, they're the ones that are really missing things now. But even I feel like people that aren't, super social, they still need, those touches, those human touches that are, a dinner party every now and then,
and get together, Christmas, you go and you do the brief visit. You don't have to stay all day and everything like that. And if you don't feel good, then just stay home.
Right, but I'm saying there's something about being told you can't do something like, this is off the table for you now.
The first thing you ever do if you tell me I can't do something means I have to go run out and do it.
Right?
But, I used COVID to reevaluate all of the relationships I have and be like, you know what? I don't actually miss hanging out with you. Maybe I didn't need you in my life. Not you. But, and I really started looking at the different friends I had, and I was like, I was hanging out with you, but you know what? I never really enjoyed it. I was just hanging out with you, so I wasn't alone. So maybe I'm better off being alone a little bit more and choosing my friends more carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that away from COVID. That was kind of nice.
I don't know that I took that away from COVID. What did I take away from COVID?
Don't sneeze on people. Stop licking faces.
Oh my gosh. Fuck! Yeah, if you have to, like, sneeze or cough and you're out in public, you have your mask on, and you're just, like, I would maybe rather, like, shit my pants right now.
I know, right?
than actually sneeze. Like, I'm just, like, you're, like, just looking for, like, anywhere that you can, like, be in a corner that nobody will hear you. And, like, and you're like, I already have my mask on, and I'm, like, gonna sneeze into both of my elbows and, like, duck in the corner.
Exactly.
And you're just like, but I would literally rather just shit my pants right now than, like, even go through all of that and still sneeze while you're out in public.
Well, because you even think about sneezing and everybody starts eyeballing you up like you're totally married and shit.
You're totally would have a better...
I admit, I fucking made a joke of COVID when it first started. I had my little fucking painter gas mask, that pink one. Had it on. I was sitting at the hotel at the bar, and somebody started coughing, and I'm like turning around, I'm like this, and I have this mask on my face, and they're like, "I'm not sick! I'm not sick!" I'm like, neither am I, but I don't really care. But I did make a joke of it, and now I still don't feel bad.
You have to make a joke of it, otherwise you're not going to survive.
Well, you're not going to survive, and
it's a really screwed up year that we've had that is going into its second year, that it's starting to get normal. But the problem is, now you got to relearn all the crap again, and I'm like,
what do I got to relearn?
I just want to go on vacation and find an island and not come back.
Well, only the rich people can do that. So. They've been doing that, just by the way.
They have been doing that. I mean, they've been having parties and
they've been telling all the rest of us on Instagram, and we've been getting, like, mad.
That Kylie bitch.
Mad.
We're mad.
We're super
She had a birthday party that had 100 friends. I only have 10, and I can't even get them together.
We're still going to spend money on all your stuff and whatever, but we're mad. This is us being mad.
Uproar. Yeah. So, silent. Holding our fists up. So what do you take of this, ladies? What is your one witty thing that you have about life that gets you through? What is one witty saying?
I don't know that I have a witty saying. I will just say that I feel like being funny, witty, relatable, especially for women, will get you a lot further than not being any of those things. Like, men can be serious and stoic and just, awful. Whatever. And people will still, want to be around them for whatever reason,
Yeah, they're a boss, we're a bitch.
They have money, they have power, they have something, And for women, if you kind of want to magnetize yourself to other people, I think that's definitely something that we all employ, right? It's like, well, you need to be fun, funny, something, It doesn't have it doesn't have to be an act or anything, but I think a lot of us go there because that's something that is kind of universal that people won't judge you on, or it's not too.
You don't hang out with all the stand-up comedians, because they will judge you.
Those fuckers judge you.
They will judge you.
If you're not like,
she's not that funny.
Yeah, this one, she thinks she's like a Mensa queen here, or whatever. If you're too smart as a woman, right?
I am, whatever.
Or you're too pretty. She thinks she's, God's gift to whatever. Right. Or, it's like, does anybody really ever say, she's just way too funny? No, I don't think so.
I can't hang out with her. She makes me laugh.
Yeah.
My bladder is weak. That's what I want to hear. I cannot hang out with you. Why? Because you made me laugh and my bladder is weak.
I don't feel little when I hang out with you.
How about you?
I would be honored if somebody said they peed a little when they hung out with me.
What is your witty take on this all of your life?
I don't know. I don't know that I have a witty take on life. I just have to look for something funny in every piece of misery, because otherwise it's just too miserable.
That's true. I want my life to be fun.
There's that saying that it's not my circus, it's not my monkeys, it's not my circus, so it's not my problem. Well, it is my problem, but if it's not my monkeys, it's not my circus, I damn well will make fun of this problem until it's no longer
I will heckle and throw peanuts.
I think there's a mom joke that's exactly like that. That's not my monkeys, that's not my circus, and then you're like, oh crap, those are my monkeys.
Oh no, those two are my monkeys.
Those are definitely me. So I don't know. For me, it's let's think about this. Again, it's my motto for this show. It's like I like my humor like I like my wine, dark and dry.
I like mine light and bubbly.
That is fucking true.
There you go. That works, though.
So here's to witty women and surviving the pandemic, surviving COVID, female friends, and fuck the rest.
Cheers.
So here we go, ladies. Cheers. Thank you. This is Nicolina Nix from Women, Wit, and Wine signing off. Winter Fleck. Amazing co-writer that I write with every once in a while. We're going to get back to this soon. See, as you can tell, I'm an empty nester. And Catherine Kelly, professional extraordinaire with a bit of volcano on the side. This is Nicolina Nitz, and hope you join us next time. Women, Wit, and Wine. Have a great night.